to afford to hire an attorney at this time?
No, I cannot.
Desiree Rent had her first court appearance today by phone, accused of causing the death of a 9-month-old baby in her care. Police say they were called to Rent's home last July at the Reserve at Lake Point Apartments for an unresponsive 9-month-old boy.
And unfortunately, there was a 9-month-old child in cardiac arrest.
An autopsy and investigation revealed that Rent's had given the baby cough syrup, not recommended for children under the age of 4. Detectives determined Rent's was running a daycare with more than a dozen children in her 1-bedroom apartment and misrepresented herself to parents as a licensed daycare operator.
Inside the apartment, there was something posted on the wall that was like being portrayed as a license.
And Major Shannon Halstead with the St. Petersburg Police Crimes Against Persons Division says this is not the only recent case.
It was weird after this case happened. Then in August, we had another case where a child broke their leg at an unlicensed daycare.
She's urging parents to make sure daycares are licensed. You can do this by searching Cares Search Florida. This will take you to the DCF website. You can search a provider by name, address, or license number.
We want our kids to be well taken care of, and the parents can really ensure that by making sure that the provider they're using is licensed.
And as for Rent, she is facing charges of aggravated manslaughter of a child and misrepresentation of a child care license resulting in death. Reporting live, I'm Melissa Marino, 8 on your side.
Take a look at this incredible video. People across Pinellas County cleaning up this morning after severe thunderstorms passed through the area last night. And we know now that a confirmed tornado touched down in Largo. The severe weather tore through an area from Largo to Pinellas Park to Clearwater.
I know, and that video is crazy. This is a look this morning right now. Eagle 8 HD is up live showing us this video. No injuries reported, but that tornado, boy, it left a trail of damage through a Largo mobile home park, rather. I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Chris Martinez. Our Beth Rousseau has been there in that neighborhood all morning long, taking a look at the damage. Beth, this is quite a scene there.
It looks like something straight out of a movie. There's damage throughout the Largo area, but none that we've seen that's worse than this. Take a look. It's taped off at this point. You can see shattered windows, water running from under straight through this mobile home. Now, this is from a tornado lifting up this entire house, having it on its side for a few seconds and then setting it right back down. We're going to continue to walk you right through this damage. You can see it's lopsided from being thrown back down. We actually know now from speaking with a neighbor that the woman who owns this home was inside during the entire ordeal, the whole time that home was flipped up on its side and then brought back down by this confirmed tornado. She was sitting inside. They say she was covered in debris, scared. The whole incident was captured on Ring doorbell camera. We talked to the woman, Martha Hicks, who owns this home. She said she was shocked when she saw the footage.
There was a lady in there. I guess when the house went up, it stayed up for a few seconds and then popped back down. The whole house come up in the air. And she said she rolled around a few times. And then she had debris on top of her when the house finally landed. But she managed to get herself out.
Beth, that is just unbelievable to hear. I mean, we can see the damage, but to be in the house as that happened, how frightening. We see a lot of damage with the Eagle 8 HD live shot. What are you seeing right now?
Well, like I said, it's like something straight out of a movie. None as bad as this damage. So many roofs have been torn off of these mobile homes. There has also been carports that have been blown down the street. In fact, there are streets just like this one absolutely were covered with debris, neighbors tell us, when they walked outside for the first time after this storm. Community members have really come together in a lot of these mobile home communities that have seen the damage. They've worked together to get these streets cleared. But when you see damage like this, it really puts into perspective just how powerful these storms can be that we see in the afternoons here in Florida, especially the tornadoes that come through here. Again, a woman who is in her 60s or 70s, we're told by her neighbor, literally was inside as this was picked up off the ground and then set back down. Some of the scariest moments of her life, we're told.
Wow, that is incredible. All right, Beth Rousseau, live for us in Largo. Beth, thank you for that. Turning now to Justin Mosley with us today to take a look at the forecast. You know, we talk about, Justin, how there is a a threat risk, and it can be a low threat risk like it was yesterday and again today, but this can still happen.
That's right. We certainly had that risk yesterday, and the possibility is there again for today. We're watching an upper level low pressure center over the state, which provides cooler air aloft and an unstable situation. So when these storms do fire up, you can get very strong gusty winds and even the possibility of a tornado in short order.
And Justin, it was confirmed this morning that it was a tornado, but we don't know yet how strong. What are you thinking?
Judging by what I see with this video, I would say EF0, maybe EF1 damage, and that's very typical here in the state of Florida. And just by the video as well, you can see how scattered the nature of the wind damage is. So there's a mobile home that's fine, and then this one completely demolished. So,
are we looking at a repeat of this today? I mean, what brought that about?
So the risk is certainly there for an isolated tornado because of this upper level feature that we've been tracking, providing the cooler air and unstable weather that we do have on the Max Defender radar. For now, we're quiet, but things will begin to change as we head into the afternoon hours.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is looking for 3 women involved in a brazen pickpocketing theft in a Riverview shopping plaza.
Yeah, deputies say it happened in a crowded home goods store, and the entire thing was caught on camera. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur joins us now live in Riverview with more on the story. Georgia.
Josh and Stacy, Hillsborough County deputies say those thieves targeted this home goods here right off US 301 in Riverview. Now, I talked to a lot of shoppers who are in this parking lot today who say they are not only shocked, but going to be extra cautious when shopping in this plaza. Surveillance photos released by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office show 3 women working in a sophisticated scheme, with one reaching into the victim's purse to steal her wallet, another blocking her view, and that third suspect serving as a lookout.
That is shocking. No, I would have never known it, but I always have my purse like this.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrible.
The theft happened on May 12th inside this busy home goods in Riverview. Video shows the women casually walking out, blending in with other shoppers. Investigators say the suspects were able to get away before the victim even realized what happened.
I can see how that happens because you're both in the shelves and they're both reaching, and she's probably reaching in her purse.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I'm from New York, so, and we moved down here, so it's just a habit. I keep my purse always like this in front of me.
And for shoppers, the suspects' ages made it even more surprising.
You probably wouldn't think twice and, would put your back to somebody like that. But, I mean, it could be anybody these days.
And detectives believe this may be part of a pattern. If you recognize any of these women in the surveillance video or pictures, you are asked to contact them. Reporting live in Riverview, I'm Georgia MacArthur. AIDS on your side.
We try to be involved in their lives as they turn into men in the community. And so for Walter, this was a big deal and his biggest moment in his life so far, probably other than having his child, right? Salt Lake, he's never been there before, but he'll get used to it. And he's not going there to ski on the mountains. He's going there to get better at basketball, right? So he's excited for it.
Yeah, the National Weather Service just confirmed via radar and via videos that they've seen that this was a tornado that touched down here in Largo. They're going to send someone out later today to survey the debris, the damage, and they got plenty of it to look at. Take a peek behind me. You can see the siding, pieces of the roof, mangled debris just filling this field. If we walk down here a little bit, you can see where the roof on this mobile home has just peeled off. This is pieces of people's homes that are just scattered throughout the community. Now, in video from other portions of Pinellas County that was sent in by viewers, you can see heavy winds, the rainfall, as well as hail falling in some areas. A really scary situation to people who are out in this, or even those who just hunkered down. Red Cross is assisting families in the Bay Ranch community. They say that several homes are severely damaged, some of them even totaled. Fortunately, Largo Fire Rescue say there have been no injuries reported in association with this severe weather. We talked to some families out here, and they say this damage that you're seeing worse than anything that they've experienced during recent hurricanes.
We were inside, and all of a sudden we looked out the windows, and I saw everything flying. And heard the noises.
It felt like a hurricane had just started right on top of us, and the lights were flickering.
Back out here live, if we take a peek down this street, you can see all of this damage. Not all of it necessarily as severe as this home that we're showing you, but there are mangled pieces of these homes, of roofs, just scattered throughout the Bay Ranch community here in Largo. This is what the National Weather Service is going to be taking a look at when they come out a little bit later on today. They're going to try and determine the wind speed as well as how long this tornado was on the ground. Again, I reached out to Largo Police Department for confirmation that nobody was injured as of last check with them. Everybody is okay. We'll keep you updated as we move throughout the morning on the CW Tampa Bay and later here on News Channel 8. We're live in Largo. Beth Russo, 8 on your side.
Well, happening today, the Pinellas County businessman accused of stealing more than $100 million from a special needs trust will be in court.
Prosecutors say Leo Gavoni is a flight risk, and they want to keep him in jail until his trial begins. 8 on your side's Alessandra Young is live outside of the Tampa Federal Courthouse with the details. Good morning.
Good morning. Deanne and Chris, in a hearing today, we will find out whether Leo Gavoni will remain in jail until his trial begins or be released on bond. Federal prosecutors claim Leo Gavoni took more than $100 million from a special needs trust. They also say he used the now bankrupt nonprofit to fund a lavish lifestyle that included buying 3 properties and using a private jet. Prosecutors also arrested Gavoni's longtime accountant, John Whittick, who has since been released on a $500,000 bond.
Whitetech's job was to protect the trust beneficiaries by providing accurate financial statements to them on a routine basis. He was supposed to keep track of their money. Instead, he joined the fraud scheme and misled the victims.
Prosecutors ordered the seizure of more than a dozen properties that add up to at least $88 million in multiple states. These properties were allegedly purchased from money taken from the clients of the Center for Special Needs Trust Administration, all while these victims and their families thought their money was safe.
Gavoni and Whitetech sent annual false accounting statements to their victims, promising that their money was in investments when in reality their money was already in Gavoni and Whitetech's pockets and their businesses.
A judge has already deemed Gavoni liable for taking the money as part of a civil case. 8 on your side will be present for the detention hearing later today. For now, live in Tampa, Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.
Now, News Channel 8 at 10 on the CW Tampa Bay, sponsored by Farah and Farah.
Now at 10, they weren't your average afternoon summer storms. Residents in the Bay Area saw destructive winds, hail, even a tornado. Good evening, everyone. I'm Josh Benson. Thanks for being with us tonight. Severe thunderstorms caused major damage for many residents tonight, especially in Pinellas County. News Channel 8's Marilyn Parker live from Bay Ranch manufactured home communities in Largo. And Marilyn, take us through what you're seeing there tonight. It's a mess.
It really is a mess. So unfortunate. Just look at what some of the people here are dealing with. You can see the wall of this house just shifted off of the foundation there. There's broken glass everywhere. It's leaning into what looks like a patio or maybe a Florida room, but it's gone. And if you go further down, I'll have my photographer kind of lean that way. You can see the door split right open. This just rocked this house. And there are so many houses in this neighborhood that have experienced the same thing. Take a look at this video. We're showing you the same house, but you can actually see the kitchen from standing on the outside. And it looks like the walls have just been pushed over, like someone put a big dent in front of these houses. And a few streets over, we saw carports flipped on its side. Some people went ahead and started making repairs where they could. They said, look, someone's got to start making things happen. And so they grabbed their hammers and did what they could. I also spoke with one man who was out checking on his neighbors, who said this started as a beautiful evening and it turned into devastation. Take a listen.
There was no dirt in this funnel cloud. It was just a wall of spiral, and it was like if you hold your hands out like this, that's how wide the cloud was of stuff spiraling. And it moved in within just a couple of minutes. It was right at my house here.
And I actually got to speak with the man who was inside this house when all of this happened. He said he and his 2 dogs were trapped. They yelled for help. Neighbors came in and started moving things around to help get him out. He had a few cuts, but he says they were able to patch it up. He's feeling better, but obviously this is a lot for them to take in. He said it sounded like a bomb came right over his house. He's hoping that resources come in to start helping the people in this area who desperately need it. There's actually 2 Largo Police Department cars parked right behind us. They're kind of talking with a few people who are still standing outside. But again, this is just a lot to deal with, something not a lot of people expected to come from, your average thunderstorms in the summer. Well, now it's proven that anything can really happen. Back to you.
This event is more than just a brunch. Organizers with the Pride Construction Coalition say it's a place for professionals to gather, network, and feel supported in a safe space. Ferguson's showroom was filled with the hustle and bustle of people celebrating. It has been 10 years since same-sex marriage was legalized by the Supreme Court.
I'm married and got married shortly after that, and it feels wonderful just to have equal rights and protections through marriage. And it's important. It's important in our industry. It's important across all of society.
Tommy Whitehead started the Pride Construction Coalition and says the construction industry is one that needs to be more inclusive.
I am a licensed professional in the construction industry, and I've had incidences where homophobia has popped up. And I wanted to just give a spot where LGBT professionals, and really all professionals, can come and network.
But it wasn't just construction workers present. Professionals of all types showed up.
When I say this is an all-inclusive event, it is a safe space to come and work and network and make some money. And some of our members have made money just by shaking each other's hands and getting to know that, hey, there's services out there that are friendly to our situation.
Some say this event is where they build a support system for one another, where they can lift up LGBTQ workers and businesses that sometimes face oppression.
Have started to deal with some really unpleasant things in terms of some pushback in the community when they express that they are LGBT or even that they're supporting the LGBT community. So it's important to be able to have conversations so that they could air out how to navigate those issues.
Whitehead says that Pride is year-round, so their networking events are year-round. If you couldn't come out to the networking event today, you can head over to WFLA.com to look at their website and all the future events. In Tampa, I'm Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.
Thousands of people are expected to fill the streets of St. Petersburg for this weekend's Pride celebrations.
Local businesses are counting on the big event to create an infusion of cash to an economy that's been struggling with the Rays playing baseball across the bay. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers joins us now live in St. Pete with that story. Nicole, I know these businesses are looking forward to this.
Keith, Jen, a world of a difference. Those are the 5 words that one business owner used to describe the level of clientele that she's expecting this weekend. We spoke with business owners from gift shops to bars to not only talk about what they're preparing, but what they're expecting.
Everybody is who they are, and it doesn't matter.
St. Pete Pride is just days away.
We've been preparing for 9-10 months now, and we'll be ready come tomorrow night.
David Fisher owns Cocktail off of Central Avenue in St. Petersburg. He says he's been preparing for this year's Pride celebration all year long. But to him and many of his other fellow business owners, this year's events are especially important.
The raise not being in St. Pete has affected everybody's business here. It's just a mass of people coming into St. Pete to spend money and visit businesses. And so we've definitely seen a downturn because of that. But we are excited about this weekend. We think it's going to be big.
My French line of cards.
Down the street, Patty Bradfield owns Pieces of a Dream, something that started as a gift shop but has evolved into a boutique. It's been on Central Avenue for nearly a decade, and she's been able to see Pride grow year by year, something she commends Fisher for.
It has grown also a great deal due to Cocktail. Cocktail brings in entertainment from all over the country. We have roving entertainers, guys on stilts and costumes, food. I mean, it just is a little bit, it's good, clean fun.
Fun that comes with plenty of preparations. And Sarah Ellen Brunette says Lost and Found Cocktail Lounge will be ready.
Our bar manager and our bar staff is working very, very, very diligently to over-prepare and make sure that we are ready to rock and roll. We have drink specials, we have shot specials, we are fully staffed.
The festivities officially kick off Friday night with a concert at Janice Live, and then that big parade is set for Saturday at 2 p.m. Live in St. Pete, Nicole Rogers, 8 on your side.
I'm Stacy Scheibel.
And I'm Keith Kate. Thank you for joining us tonight. Former Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn plans to run for re-election, but today he was being honored for something he accomplished during his last term in office.
Buckhorn played a key role in building a riverfront event and community center, and today that facility has been renamed. The Bob Buckhorn River Center is located at Julian B. Lane Park, right across from downtown Tampa. And News Channel 8's Ty Russell reports about why there are concerns involving the building's new name.
You can see the new name right over my shoulder here. This is just one example of what a sitting mayor in Tampa can do for their predecessor. However, one community activist says she doesn't agree with the name change or the timing of all of this.
3, 2, 1.
It's a good day. It's, I don't deserve it, but I'm appreciative of it.
This riverfront event center was Bob Buckhorn's vision and became a reality when he was Tampa's mayor from 2011 to 2019.
This is your victory. It may be my name, but this is your victory, and we've got more to do. Now let's get it done.
Community activist Connie Burton says the venue and its new name don't represent the cigar workers and black families who once called this area home.
The community has had to watch all of these adjustments, not for the sole benefit of the community, when the vision has been to exclude this park, this facility represent all of that.
Today, Buckhorn mentioned the historical significance of this property.
This was sacred ground, and we understood that. We sat with the neighborhood and asked them what they wanted.
Buckhorn also says his work citywide is far from over. Will you run?
Sure. It's probably the worst kept secret in Tampa, so I'm not running for a redo. I'm not running for Bob Buckhorn 2.0. I'm running to help this city get to that next level, write its next chapters, and then I'm going home.
Congratulations, Bob.
Since Buckhorn wants his old job back, Mayor Jane Castor says this mayoral tradition couldn't wait until 2027.
Usually it's done at the end of a term, but I didn't want to get involved in any of the politics of it.
Will you get involved?
I don't know, we'll see.
So far, community activist Alan Henderson has filed paperwork to run. Councilman Bill Carlson is also considering, among others. In Tampa, I'm Ty Russell, 8 on your side.
The beach ordinance in Manatee County is aimed at stopping people from digging huge holes in the sand. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Josh Benson.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. We aren't talking about the little holes kids dig with those plastic shovels, but some of the holes can be very deep and very wide, and the county says they pose a danger to people and to sea life. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joins us live from Anna Maria Island. Not a bad gig today, although you should probably be in a casual shirt, Jeff.
I am a tad overdressed for the beach, let's just be honest. It's Florida. People like to come to the beach, they like to dig moats and build sandcastles, but the holes we're talking about are much larger, and they have become a real problem.
It wouldn't be a day at the beach without a kid playing in the sand. But Mark Taylor says some people playing in the sand have taken things too far.
They dig monstrous holes. They come down at spring break with snow shovels and go crazy.
Taylor is a longtime beach resident who works for the county, keeping the beaches clean and safe with this tractor. And he's seen it all when it comes to huge holes on the beach.
Sure, for you to imagine is difficult, but some of the holes are bigger than this tractor.
You're kidding.
Deeper than this is high, as long as this whole combination rig.
A hole that size is dangerous. Last year, a 7-year-old girl was killed at Lauderdale by the Sea when a large hole in the sand collapsed and suffocated her. Kristen Mazzarella with Anna Maria Island Turtle Watch says the holes are dangerous for sea life, too.
So the adult turtles can fall into large holes, and sometimes they can't get out. They can roll over, become upside down, and they can't get back up, and they're trying to lay their nest, so that's pretty bad for them.
Manatee County has now passed an ordinance preventing the use of steel shovels to dig holes. It prevents holes deeper than a foot and requires holes to be filled in. Mark Taylor says it's not too much to ask.
We try to keep it clean and safe.
Anna Maria, Holmes Beach, Bradenton Beach have all proposed similar ordinances. Those ordinances are now in the works based on the county language, and it's pretty simple. Don't bring a steel shovel to the beach. Don't dig a hole that is deeper than a foot, and fill in your holes when you're done at the beach. Keeps everybody safe, keeps the sea turtles safe as well. Live in Anna Maria Island, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
Well, a Brandon couple paid thousands of dollars to say I do, but then their dream wedding venue closed without warning.
And the bride-to-be now says the business is also refusing to refund her money. News Channel 8's Jenna Bass joining us live from what used to be the Tampa Crystal Ballroom venue. She has details on this.
Good evening. That's correct. We're here off of the former Crystal Ballroom venue here off Waters Avenue. Take a look behind me. You can see the signs already ripped down off this bride-to-be's dream venue, something that no couple wants to see when they're planning their big day.
I was going to have my ceremony and my reception there, and they were going to pretty much manage all of it. So I just had to bring in a couple of vendors outside, and I had made close to $4,000 in payments.
Eva Coffey says her wedding plans came crashing down Tuesday with one email.
The sole owner of both the North Tampa locations and the Clearwater locations for the Crystal Ballroom had ceased operations and had closed up shop and had not notified staff or the franchise owner and was in breach of contract.
The Tampa location shows signs that a new company, Tribeca Ballroom, is taking over. We went to their office in Brandon to see if we could get some answers.
Absolutely not. We have nothing to do with Crystal Ballroom or are affiliated with them in any sense of motion.
Ruiz says he's been under lease agreement for a while now at the former Tampa location.
My lease was executed from May 1st, so my company had possession of the building as of May 1st.
But according to Coffey, that date came before she last made a payment to the venue.
I made a payment on May the 7th.
Both franchise locations are listed under sunbiz.org as owned by Glamorous Sparkles, LLC. Our phone calls to Crystal Ballroom went unanswered, and our emails were kicked back with an automatic reply saying they will return all calls and emails at their earliest convenience.
I have to look now for another venue, and I'm not alone in this. There are other brides and other people that had special occasions that were coming up that are now left in the lurch.
Now, Anderson Ruiz of Tribeca says he's happy to help the couple however he can, but since he's not affiliated with Crystal Ballroom, he cannot provide a refund. And Eva Coffey tells us she wants to see if her event insurance can cover the loss and tells me she is possibly considering pursuing legal action. Now, we're going to continue to stay on this story and bring you any more updates. But for now, we're live in Tampa. Jenna Bass, 8 on your side.
Welcome back to the Stream Center. And today we learned just this morning that the Bucs power duo, that's Coach Todd Bowles and General Manager Jason Light, they're going to be sticking around for a while. Both have signed multi-year contract extensions. Joining us now with more insight on that is Eileen Natchik from our sports department. And Eileen, were you caught by surprise? Was this surprising to anyone?
You know, it's funny because I was scheduled to have a Pilates class this morning and I missed it. I slept in and I was like, I'll sleep like an hour later. So I woke up and it was like 30 minutes ago, the news broke that they had a contract extension. And I think this is just awesome. The pair have been so successful. They've won 4 consecutive NFC South titles and went to the playoffs 5 consecutive times, which is the most in the NFC. And aside from all of the stats, right, and on everything you can kind of read, from talking with both of them and covering them the last 2 years, they have they just have the best relationship, right? And like that is the most important thing when you're in a front office and you have a successful team is the chemistry, the culture, and they've really built something special over the last 4 or 5 years. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, you add that to the stats, right? And I think people just want to see that hold in place and how far can we take it, you know?
Well, they think they could take it to the house. They think they can take this to the Super Bowl once again, which obviously the pair winning a Super Bowl just a few short years ago, which we're hoping to see another boat parade come February.
Love that.
Hey, my birthday's in February. That's what I want for my birthday this year, guys, if you're listening. Another Super Bowl. But they really, they think they can go far this year, especially with all the new elements and this draft class is insane. Emeka Egbuka in that first round. The receivers are the deepest position on offense. The linebackers, deepest position on defense. So they've added a lot of really special additions this year, and they've already had the chemistry, as we can see.
Right.
The roster is insane. So it makes for a good year.
It does. I have 2 quick questions for you.
Let's hear it.
I remember after Tom Brady retired for the second time, or was it the third time, that everybody thought, there goes the Bucs.
Yep.
And then there's been not a lot of love all the time for head coach Todd Bowles. But look what he's done with Baker Mayfield and the team since Brady left. Do you hear a lot about people are like, I don't know about Bowles. I don't know about Bowles.
I love that you say this because this is the position that the Bucs want to be in. Every time they are underrated, every time they're doubted, that's when they do their best. So all the reports out, especially all the national reports that we saw last season with them winning, not a ton of games, they like that. They like to be the underdog. So I bring it back. I hope everyone doubts the Bucs because that's when they play their best football, and they don't listen to the outside noise. They're confident in who they are and the way they play. And I think people are starting to understand how good of a coach Todd Bowles is because he has the stats to prove it. And if you listen to any of the players in their interviews, they speak so highly of him, and that's really important as well.
Huge.
Yeah, and you're right. They're building something special. So let's see what they do this season.